All right, so doing this video to talk kind of about the Point Ruston development. We went out there yesterday because it was in the news, and also we haven't been out there in a while. They've been working on this project even during this whole shutdown. They were able to get an exemption to continue working on it because I guess it was listed as something that was deemed I don't know, essential or something. I can't remember the exact wording, but they were able to continue construction on it as well as other projects in Tacoma. Point Ruston is a development that's actually between the city of Tacoma and the city of Reston. Ruston's a very tiny dot. I mean, you won't even know you're in Reston when you're there if you're not paying attention. But it's about a 1 square mile city. So the revenue that the city of Reston gets on the part that is in the Reston area is considerable, right? Because there's not much going on there. And there was a issue back in the day between both cities because project developers were trying to get projects done faster, and small cities typically take forever to get the process done as far as paperwork goes, right? And so Tacoma at one point wanted to absorb Ruston as a city and just have it as a neighborhood, which to me I think makes better sense. But that's not what this video is about. It is about the development itself and how more and more businesses from Seattle are taking the journey down to Tacoma. This part of Tacoma is a really up and coming area. It's already in kind of a hoity toity part of town. You have Old Town, which is hoity toity. No offense against people that live there. It's just people want to know. You're getting close to University Place, kind of. Once you keep going further to the west. So it's really nice. Of course, you have Point Defiance over there as well. Huge, massive park. Actually, it's the second largest public park in the country after Central Park. So it's a really cool area. And so you see a lot of condos, apartments, everything over there. Everything, movie theater. It's a there's a mall, basically an outside outdoor style mall. So it's really cool. It's really cool. There's a different development called the Public Market, and it's a 30,000 or so square foot building that's been developed. And this building is supposed to open this month, and I'm talking July, in a few days. Now, we went to this structure, and I actually took some video on the inside. And I was going to add it to the end of this video, but there's really no point. I'm going to wait until it's further along, and I may put the two together, right? But basically, this 30,000 square foot structure is going to house 35 permanent vendors, a convenience store, and 2 commercial kitchens. Okay. Now, the area I showed was on the bottom floor, which is most of what is going to be there. There's also an upper floor that you can get to, too. There's so much construction still, a lot of equipment, so we didn't even journey over there. I had the kids with me, and Noel, too. So we didn't really journey too far. One of the guys that is, I guess, the construction supervisor or something was kind of a douche when we first pulled up, but he became nice after he realized that we were there to check out a space, because it's possible that we would consider going there to have another studio. But he became a lot nicer, but he was still patrolling around in there, looking around, which is what he is supposed to do. But I didn't want to, venture around too much. The one thing before I get to the stores that will be there is when you walk in, there's going to be an area outside where the farmers market will line up. I thought the farmers market was going to be on the inside, but it's not. It's going to be along the side of the building where you can look out, and there's going to be these bay doors. So these big giant doors will open. They're going to be closed, obviously, when the weather is not nice, and then you can enter in through just regular doors. But along this patio, this decorative patio will be where the farmers market will be. Then when you walk inside to the way we came in from the parking lot to the right will be where the supposedly, now I haven't seen an actual map, there's a blueprint map, but that is where you're going to see the convenience store, right? It's kind of a grocery slash convenience store. There's also already a meat company that is almost completely done. And so I'm going to go through this article and kind of talk about it. The 97-acre development known as Point Ruston is well over a $600 million project. Like, it's, when I say that, Tacoma's doing okay, this was back a couple of years ago, that you had a lot of people from Seattle talking negative about Tacoma, or you had people who been here 30 years ago talking about Tacoma's a dump. And I'm like, if Tacoma's a dump, they wouldn't be spending total, when you add in the town center, which is a $300 million project. You add in the huge hotel, which is 200 and something $million. You add in brewery blocks, which I forget how many millions that is. Then you add in the Point Ruston development, which is 600 million. You're well over $2 billion. $2 billion right now. And that's not counting all the other apartments. I'm not listing those, but that's a lot of money for a dump. It's just not the case anymore. And so it's not the case also when you have a lot of businesses from Seattle setting up shop right in this development. I'm going to get to that. So they're hoping to have their soft opening on July 6th. I don't see how. Noelle and I were talking, and some other people in there. I don't see how. Yeah, it's possible, but it seems like there's a lot of work that has to be done. And from my understanding, the one meat company is what's going to actually be open. There's a center section there where it's going to be, you can have various different little small businesses. There's a lot of day stalls, as you call it. They're going to put up decorative panels on the windows and stuff, but these are kind of open slot stalls. It's not like Freight House Square where you have your own private door and all of that. I guess you have to put that in. They're fairly small. So that's one of the negatives. Once I upload the video and show you once it's in action, you can kind of get a general idea. But it is going to be a busy place, so it's great to put a business there, but the stalls seem very tiny, in my opinion, and just not really conducive for a lot of businesses. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it says they're going to, some tenants will be in what is considered to be their permanent location, while others will temporarily set up in the main hall, known as the Atrium. And that's where we were last night, or yesterday. We were in the main atrium part of this building. When completed, the public market stands to become a veritable destination for local food and drink with a waterfront view, which is true. So this is basically a food hall, right? On the outside, you have actual permanent fixtures, permanent restaurants, and things like that will actually be there nonstop. And you can enter on the outside, or you can be on the inside and enter into those. So it's really, really cool. This concept is amazing. Unfortunately, it's not downtown, because it would make a whole lot more sense to put one or have something like this downtown as well, but that's just not the case. The space will also house a demo kitchen focused on healthy eating and a teaching kitchen sponsored by a local hospital. And so it goes through here. It talks about there's going to be an anchor tenant inside of the market, which is a 133-year-old butcher, and also a beloved Olympia-based coffee roaster and Tacoma's oatmeal cookie queen, Karina Blasco. And so a lot of these people were at the farmer's market, because we have several different ones. And so now they're having their first actual storefront because of this facility. So they said that there will be a local Lakewood business owner who will run the Point Ruston Market, which is a small grocery and liquor store. A convenience, she said, Point Ruston residents have longed for. He won't sell produce, as that will be covered by vendor Fardell Farms. But he will offer freshly prepared food that will focus on Middle Eastern staples like hummus and falafel. The shop will also boast a growler bar for craft beers. They stated that just over half of the spaces have been filled, and she is searching for the person that's running this whole operation, searching for the right seafood vendor and wine shop among a few other gaps. So she's encouraging local businesses to think about coming there for a possible permanent location, right? So here's some of the vendors. I'm going to read off kind of what they are. It's going to be a really, really nice concept. This place will be full. Point Ruston by itself, the mall, when you go there, is already always busy. Um, it just is. There's a lot of development, hundreds of apartments and condos going in. Yeah, I mean, this place is going to be busy. And then farmers markets here are always packed. The one downtown, you can't even hardly walk around. It's just, you're bumping into people. It is always packed. So the one over here in Reston is going to be the exact same way, especially with Reston being a destination point. You got to keep in mind, too, they had just finished that nice, beautiful park, Dunes Peninsula, which is amazing. I mean, there's nothing like it in the area. I mean, when I say the area, the whole Puget Sound region, there's nothing like it. So this is a very hot zone in Tacoma, right? Very hot zone, more so even than downtown. And that's saying something. But some of the day stall vendors are going to be listed, as well as permanent ones. Bee King, which is a local honey producer based in Puyallup. Fardell Farms, fruit and vegetable retailer based in I can't say the name of that city. I don't know how to say it. King's Mozzarella, a cheesemaker. Mozzarella and burrata, plus queso fresco and something else. I don't know how to say it. Cheese, they're known for selling at farmers market. Okay. OMG Olive Oil, an oil and vinegar supplier with the shop based in Pike Place Market. So that's the first one I'm reading right now that is out of Seattle. There's others. Only Oatmeal Cookie Creations. Refreshed oatmeal cookies from Corinna Blasco, plus edible cookie dough, overnight oats, and build your own oatmeal bowls. Owen Meats, a butcher and meat market based in, I can't say that name either, I don't know how to say it. Opened its second location ever since 1887. Point Ruston Market, as I mentioned, which is a grocery and convenience store, which will serve Middle Eastern fare, and as well as beer by the growler. Taco Street. Now, Taco Street will have its own actual store built into the building. It's a family-run taqueria based in Seattle and will serve alcohol. So that's the second Seattle business. Pike Place Nuts, a famed nut purveyor from, of course, Pike Place Market. That's the third one from Seattle. Retail vendors, Jack and Aline, artesian cutting boards, cheese boards, and live edge furniture maker based in Seattle. That's the fourth one. Love Lurera, skin care, beauty products, and candle wax made from raw natural ingredients. Purple Peacock, which has been advertised all over the sides of the street as you're going into Ruston. It's a gift shop specializing in finds from Asia with a storefront at Point Ruston. Sage and, so I don't know if they're going to have two locations. I don't know. Sage and Onyx Soapery, skincare producer using raw natural ingredients. And Z Yang's Garden of Florist. So it goes through and it talks about that, but you can see just from this one development, because this is not the mall. Okay, there is a lifestyle mall where you just kind of park and you walk up to it type of thing. It's not like an indoor mall. It's not talking about the businesses there. This is a completely different development on the same kind of the same footprint. You can walk easily to it. This development by itself already has 4 businesses that are from Seattle, 2 businesses that are from Olympia, because I didn't mention one of the others, which is Dancing Goats. Dancing Goats is a coffee shop which has places here, but it also has places in Atlanta, different places. It is a coffee shop which will also have a permanent store location right there, right next to the taco place. And so they're based, I think, out of Olympia, I believe. So there's 2 Olympia businesses. There are 4 from Seattle. Keep in mind, Dancing Goats also will have a coffee place right there in downtown Tacoma at the Brewery Blocks location. So they're entering Tacoma with some force because obviously there's a lot of people trying to compete for the dollar. Downtown Tacoma as well as Point Ruston, that whole zone is very, very hot. Keep in mind, we drove by the Tacoma Town Center, and that development is pretty much done. The one building, they still have a lot more to go. That one building on the outside is pretty much done. The retail units are ready. I don't know about the apartments on the inside. On the outside, the building is completely pretty much done. That's going to be a very hot zone also. So all of this is creating a lot of synergy downtown. There's other developments that are rumor that's going to happen right in downtown, which if that happens, it's going to be amazing, right? It's going to be amazing. So it's interesting to see how things are going to work as far as with, what's going on, the shutting everybody down. It's going to be interesting to see how that all evolves and how things work out. But it doesn't seem to stop development. It doesn't seem to stop the home prices here. It doesn't seem to be slowing those things down that much, right? It doesn't seem to be slowing it down that much. But this project would have been done a lot faster had it not been for the closures and the shutdowns and things like that. But pretty much this is going to be an amazing addition, because what they're trying to do is the farmers market's going to be held on every Sunday. Now, I don't know if they're going to increase that, but it's held on every Sunday, and it's going to be along that the outside area, as I mentioned. But the inside stuff is going to be going constantly, nonstop. So it's not going to be any particular day of the week. It's going to be every day of the week. So it is going to be pretty interesting to see this development, how it's going to morph and change over time, and the different businesses that are coming in there. So yeah, we're gonna definitely check it out whenever it does open in the next few days. Go back to that place and see how far they came along with that the meat store that's going to be there. They already have the refrigerators in. They have a lot of different things, but there's not a lot of equipment. Again, I don't see how, unless you throw 50 construction workers on it, on that one section. I don't know how they're going to get that done in just a matter of a couple of days. I definitely would want to be in charge of that, because it is not complete. None of us there could see how they could get that done. But construction workers work pretty quick and pretty hard at getting stuff done. But anyhow, yeah, that is the public market here in Tacoma at Point Ruston. It's going to be interesting once they get it completed. I will definitely make sure once we get farther along, probably towards the end of summer, I probably will go back and film in there again and really show you, what it looks like. Again, not super impressed by the day stalls. And again, to be fair, they're not done with construction in that section. That section's being held for a little bit because they have other things they have to do. The grocery store is a big key part of that. They want to make sure they get that done. I get it. But yeah, not super impressed with that section. Everything else seems amazing. The 2 commercial kitchens needed, because we don't have enough commercial kitchens here in Tacoma. That is desperately needed. The demo kitchen is also great because, again, people need to know how to cook certain things. And I think it's a great concept. It's long overdue. But anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Join our Discord, which will be down in the description box below. We've had a lot of people get on and talk about various different things, and we're able to interact with them too on a personal level. It's pretty cool. And until next time, I will see you. Take care.